Hello, and welcome to the Sofa Talk podcast. I'm your co host, Aster, and SeVen will not be here with us today, so I'm going to hold down the fort for SeVen. Let's talk it out and lounge it up. We appreciate you listening. Today is a special episode, and this is episode 7. And the title of today's episode is Hair Loss, Not Self Worth. Today, we're going to talk about alopecia with a hair loss specialist, our first special guest. Yay! Welcome back. So, as I mentioned, today's a special episode. We have Angela Williams, a renowned hair loss specialist. Angela has over 30 years of experience in cosmetology, 15 years teaching it, and numerous industry credentials. If we mention all of her credentials, we will be here all day long. She also has a 5-star hair product line. Disclaimer alert, while Angela has extensive expertise, education, and teaches continuing education classes and seminars for cosmetology students, her primary focus is on maintaining and treating the scalp to promote healthy hair. She can't diagnose, but she can provide education about hair loss, which is something she embraces. So thank you so much, Angela, for being with us. How about you do us this favor? How about you tell us about yourself, some background information, and, brag about yourself?
Okay, sure. So again, my name is Angela. Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in, as this is a topic that I feel like people don't take seriously. It is a scalp condition, and people usually have low self-esteem issues. They become distant from family and friends. But I don't want to go ahead of myself, and so I'm going to talk about more about that later. However, I've been in the industry about 33, 34 years now. I embraced the hair loss part of what I've started doing. Um, I've worked in salons. I have serviced clients who had experienced alopecia, which has led me to go further into educating myself on a scientific part of alopecia, and I'll go more into that. Um, and also, I am a cranioprosthesis specialist, which is a specialist who can sell medical wigs, and that's why the medical wig is called cranioprosthesis in technical terms. Again, hair loss is one of my specialties right now that I am moving for going further into my career. Again, I embrace it, which led me to also start a all natural hair ingredient product line also. But I'll get more into that as we move on to in the topics. We'll get more into that. But I thank you for having me, Sofa Talk. I appreciate it.
And thank you for being here. Again, you are our first special guest, so thank you so much. We will always remember this. So I'm going to ask a series of questions that are related to alopecia or hair loss. And these are some good questions. And let's start with the first one. So, Angela, what inspired you to specialize in alopecia and hair loss? Was there a defining moment in your career that led you down this path?
Okay, yes. So again, throughout my career as a certified cosmetologist, I service guests. I call my clients guests. I service guests that had that experienced alopecia. So after servicing them and doing deep conditions and hair installations, I wanted to go deeper into the scientific part, even though we learn it in it's taught to us in cosmetology school. Um, and I wanted to go further with it, and I wanted to find out what causes hair loss. What are the
Yeah.
reasons why? So I started researching the causes and reasons people experience hair loss. Um, So the scientific part of the hair and scalp structure is learning about the hair follicles, the derma papilla, um, um, the epidermis, and finding out what targets the hair follicles for the client or the guest to experience hair loss. Um, so in the year 2015, I completed a hair loss specialist course where I learned the trichology side of it. And that taught me how to use a triscope to view the hair follicles and also look for any kind of underlying hair and scalp issues. To give you an example, and I do this also in the salon as well. So the triscope is like an X-ray. Like when we go get an X-ray, if we broke something or if the doctor wants to go find out and diagnose this properly, they give us an X-ray. The same thing with the triscope. It's like an X-ray for the scalp.
Oh, that's easy.
That tells me. So I had a guest that I I had utilized it on, and she had her hair follicles were blocked. To give you an example, her hair follicles were blocked. So that told me, okay, there's dirt, there's oil, there's buildup that's blocking the hair follicle. The hair follicle. So that means that there's no growth. The hair's not going to grow because it's blocking it.
Okay.
So that's one reason why I like the triscope, and I'm glad when I took the class that I think that was one of my takeaways, because that was just remarkable just to see that in the view what we don't see, but what we don't see.
Exactly.
So that triscope tells everything, and then I document, also document to go back after several months and re-diagnose again and see if what I'm doing got removed all the dirt and the oils and the build so that the hair follicles can breathe and allow hair to grow. So after as my knowledge started increasing, I was eager to learn more about other options outside of servicing my clients, my guests, with the hair installation techniques for people who are experiencing alopecia. So that's when I went and I completed the cranial prosthesis course. Again, cranial prosthesis is the medical term for medical wigs. And one thing that after I spoke to a couple of guests, and I say to them, I say, you know that most insurance companies will pay for it, but however, it's the way it's worded. So it has to be worded correctly. Like I can't say hair loss, I have to say alopecia in order for the insurance company to approve it. So I'm not going to go too deep, but however, when we're going into the cranial prosthesis part of it, if that's what the guests choose to do, I recommend, and it's recommended. I don't recommend it, but it's recommended that that the guests go to their primary physician. She refers him or her to the dermatologist. The dermatologist gives them a script. They bring me the script. I go over what wig would look best and accentuate and things of that nature. And then that's when I send it off, the script off to the insurance company for the guest to be covered as far as payment. Or the other option is they can get reimbursed. And there's other, if the insurance doesn't pay, there's other options. There's other resources that I also let the guest know of. But again, the medical wig is another alternative outside of hair installation services. So,
it's okay.
So, was there a defining moment in my career that led me down this path? Yes. What led me is seeing how alopecia affects women and men, and to be able to give them different options to make them feel good about themselves. And I'm also going to add that being that I'm a cosmetologist as well, when they purchase the wig units, I can style them. I can cut and I can style them to fit their face, so people wouldn't even be able to tell that if they have a wig unit or not, to be able to situate. And now they have all these other options out now that I'm researching, and I'm wanting to go complete another course, actually, because there's so many options out there where people can still look and feel good about themselves. Yes.
I love it. I love to hear that.
Thank you.
In your experience, how does alopecia affect a person's identity and self-esteem? And how can treatments help in this regard? And I have something I want to say after you speak.
Okay. Um, well, in my experience, I noticed they can become emotional. I've at my vendor events, when I do my product line and vendor events, I've met so many women who they get a little emotional. They get emotional. They it just where they feel like there's no hope. Um, Again, they experience low self esteem. They start to wear head coverings. They become withdrawn from social events, and
Yes.
also when they become withdrawn, and then they're saying to themselves, "I wonder if anybody can tell that if anybody can tell they're experiencing alopecia," and then they become labeled bald, which is not a technical term. I do not like that word. I always say thinning, because who wants to who wants to come to a hair loss specialist or a hairstylist and they sit in their chair and they say, "Oh my God, you're going bald." You know what that's going to do to that person? That is going to really, really, they're going to be devastated because they're already going through it. Because my position is to comfort, to reassure,
Uh-huh.
to recommend, and to give resources. Like I can't even that I hear it so many times. Like, "Oh my gosh, she's going bald," and even on Facebook, I cringe every time. But anyway, that's not the technical term,
Uh-huh.
unfortunately. And then depending on the severity, there are different treatment options, from scalp massaging, deep conditioning treatments, steam treatments, and also an infrared light that's for designed for the scalp so that it doesn't burn the client. So they sit underneath it, depending on how many treatments they get, and it helps to promote hair growth. To give you an example.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Um, can I say something real quick? Are you finished? I don't want to cut you off.
No, you're good.
Okay. So I just wanted to share so the my sister and SeVen are classmates. They graduated in 2005. And there was one classmate they had who I think she may have had alopecia. Her scalp was uh I'm sorry for saying this, Angela, but she was bald. She was bald. And for her senior year picture for the photo shoot, I think she was going to, like, she was contemplating whether or not she was going to wear a wig. I think that was going to be an option for her to wear a wig for her photo shoot. But then you know what? She decided, no, I'm not going to wear this wig. Pretty much this is who I am. So
Mhm.
I love that story. She embraced it and took the photo confidently with her with no hair.
Mhm.
So I just want to commend her for that. And I
Right.
also want to shout out the women and commend the women that are brave enough, like her, and the ones right now that are brave enough that are facing or battling alopecia, and they're walking out the house confidently with their head like that,
Mhm.
with no hair on their head. So I just
Yep.
wanted to shout them out. Um, Something else that's like a pet peeve of mine that I get real upset with is, like, for instance, we'll use the celebrity, LeBron James. So we all saw the videos, the memes, commentary, about his hairline when it was receding a couple years ago. And I just think that's pure ignorance. And, that's a sensitive subject, losing your hair. And then you have the media and everybody making fun of you, about that. I think that's just messed up. So that, let's just be mindful, people. Let's be mindful. This is a tough and touchy subject. Let's be mindful when we have, stuff like that arises, you know?
Right. Right.
Yeah.
We
I
don't
know.
know how it affects people, mentally.
Yes,
Men-
yes.
Um, it's a touch. Even in the salon, what my ladies
Mhm.
that I serviced, I would have them come in like 7 o'clock in the morning before the other salon associates came in, just so that they wouldn't feel uncomfortable. So I would already have their hair installed, and then all that, if everybody else came in and was already installed, and I would just
Yes.
style it by the time everybody got in. To give you an example, because it can be a touchy a touch that, that's a touchy situation. that they deal with emotionally.
That's what I'm about to say. Emotional, yes, absolutely emotionally. It's
Yeah.
sad. It is sad. So
Hmm.
let's be mindful. Let's be mindful. And it could
I'll
be any one of us.
yeah, it can.
It could be any one of us.
You'd be surprised how it doesn't like people can start to thin in certain areas, but they won't go total. They won't experience total alopecia, but that is a form of alopecia still.
Exactly.
Still
Exactly. I'm gonna get to that later. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
it's still a form of alopecia. And then I want to touch the bald. When people become bald from hair loss, it becomes total alopecia. Alopecia,
Oh,
alopecia totalis. Where the hair is totally gone. There's no more hair.
and there's like
Uh,
no hair fall, like no like little dots on the hair. There's no like coming back from that. It's like a smooth, right? Like completely smooth.
the hair is completely gone,
Yes,
unfortunately.
smooth.
So then, so I did want to touch on, since we're on this on this part of the on this topic. People don't realize that they experience hair loss, and why they experience it. I always use the example that when we're growing up, our parents bring us to the hair salon or barbershop
Hmm.
up until we're about 18, of course, because we're still in their household and we're still under their care. And so by the time they get 18, 19, what are they doing? They're putting their own chemicals in their hair. They're
Yes.
cutting. They're not taking care of the hair. They're not brushing properly. It's something going on, that it's something that's interfering with their hair growing. As to if they kind of continue to follow the hair regimen that their parents had them on while they were growing up,
Hmm.
they wouldn't get to that point where they're starting to do their own relaxers. Oh, I want my hair like this. I've been getting my hair like this all this time, and my mother always wanted me to, parents always wanted me to get my hair like this. Now I'm 18, I'm gonna do what I want to do. And
Yeah.
then what happens is they start doing what they want to do, and when they get in their 40s and 50s, they're sitting in my chair, or not necessarily saying sitting in my chair, but that
Hmm.
they're saying, now fix this. And it's because now you got alopecia,
Yep.
because
Too
all
late.
the years, look at all the damage that you've done to your hair, all the years. And then another
Yeah.
thing, on this, I'm not going ahead of myself, but the when I took the hair loss specialist class, another takeaway was that when young ladies want to get a chemical done, they shouldn't get a chemical done until they have their first menstrual, because keep in mind that the body's still going through different changes, and you're
Mm.
going to chemicals in the hair, and then what are you doing? They're still developing. It's like giving a baby whole milk at 2 weeks old.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's a process. So you can't. So the body's still going through changes. They're still going through puberty, and then that's what happens. Then they get older, and the same thing, along with other things. But I just wanted to put that out there, because that is important to know why people experience one reason why they do experience it, and they get to this, to where they have alopecia totalis. Um, yeah, it's just a, it's like I'm in it, so I see it, and it's sad. So that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's sad.
Yeah. It really is.
Yeah, and I see it, so it's sad. Yeah. But that's why I took the DLR specialist class, so that I could be able to educate them, and then and they to make them feel good, and that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about.
Yes. And I'm
Because
sure they appreciate it. Mhm.
there's hope. There's hope. But the thing is, they have to be consistent. Have to be consistent. Whatever regimen you choose, you have to be consistent. That's the only thing. You have to be consistent. Find somebody
Okay.
who you trust that's going to take care of your hair, and just be consistent. Somebody's going to help you take care of your hair loss, but you have to be consistent to see results. To see
Exactly.
results.
It's not like a one-stop shop type of thing. Like, oh, I'm gonna go for one-time visit and I'm gonna miraculously have my hair growing back again. I mean,
I'm gonna
yeah.
talk more. I'm gonna
Okay.
touch on it. I'm gonna touch on it. I'm gonna touch on
Okay.
it.
So then I'll go to the next one. Because we have a couple questions. So there are several different types of alopecia: androgenetic alopecia, alopecia areata. Could you explain the main difference in what causes each type for those?
So Alopecia, of course, is alopecia. That alopecia refers to as hair loss. Alopecia is hair loss. Whenever you see that, alopecia is hair loss. It's a common condition that can affect both men and women. It's not just one. It's both men and children. Let's not forget our children and children.
Yes,
Uh,
yes.
it can manifest in various forms, ranging from mild thinning to complete baldness. So that
Mhm.
means that if you notice um, a little small amount of hair loss, go get it looked at by a whether it's a hair loss specialist, whether it's your stylist, whether it's a dermatologist,
Mhm.
and make sure that you are treating it, because if it's left untreated, it starts to get bigger, larger, then it turns into alopecia totalis. And that's
Mhm.
what you don't want. Um, and so I always say, as soon as you see it, go get it treated, so
Mhm.
so that it doesn't start to spread, so that it doesn't. Sorry, so that it doesn't start to spread. So again, alopecia refers to as hair loss. When you see alopecia, that means hair loss, but there's different types, and I'm going to talk about those now. You have androgenetic alopecia. This is the most common type. This
Mhm.
comes from a combination of genetics and hormones. It can lead to gradual hair loss and a pattern typically seen in males. So this means that the male will have a receding hairline, or they'll
Mhm.
have it'll be totally gone in the crown. Females, the thinning is all over the scalp in females, but the
Oh.
men get receding hairlines,
Mm.
like LeBron James, like you mentioned, receding.
Yes, yes.
Receive lines. But nowadays, what they're doing with those is, I guess I see the barbers using, I forget what you call it, like Beijing or something like that to fill in,
Yes,
kind
yes,
of
yes.
color to fill in. With that's why I say there's so many things out there now that the people feel good about themselves. Like it's
Mhm.
unbelievable. But because they can still look young, they can still look good, and they can still feel. The main thing is feeling good, where nobody notices. That's the
Is that, yep, you fake it till you make it.
yeah, that's the main
Yep,
thing. And
yep.
then I'm sorry, and then alopecia areata. This is an autoimmune condition where the body's immune system starts to attack the hair follicles. So then
Oh,
the alopecia becomes patchy, or what happens is it becomes total hair loss.
oh,
Yeah, because
oh.
it attacks the body's immune system. It attacks the
Mm.
body's immune system. Um, Cancer, to give an example, because when people
Yes.
go through cancer, that's what happens. The body starts to attack the immune system because the immune system gets weak. Okay, and then as
Mhm.
it gets stronger, because some people they remember they fight cancer, so
Yes, and they
it
go in
gets
remission.
stronger,
Mhm.
and the hair, and I've seen this, the hair starts to grow back fuller.
Yes, I've seen it too.
Yeah, and I'm like, that's a blessing because it starts to come back thicker and fuller in some cases, which is nice. Um,
Yes.
and traction alopecia. Now,
Yes, I've heard
traction
about that.
alopecia is caused by excessive pulling or tension on the hair. So
Mhm.
this comes from wearing tight hairstyles, braiding. Um, now that the lace front technique is not done correctly,
Mhm.
because we thin in the front and with chemicals. Now I don't know
Yes,
if it's for me, and I've seen this.
yes.
Not down on anybody, but but in me, even me growing up, I always put the relaxer in the front of my hair on my hairline
Mhm.
because I want my hair to be nice and smooth, and I always have it look
Yep,
like an Indian. And then
yep.
that's what causes all that breakage. If you apply that first,
Mhm.
if you apply relaxer first around the edges, and you haven't gone through the whole process of the chemical application, even with hair color, the same thing. You have to be careful how you apply it. You have to be careful how you because it's
That's
sitting. By the time you process it, figure 15 minutes, it's still processed, and that's the most sensitive
wow.
part is our hairline. That's the most sensitive. That's where I'm seeing a lot of people who are purchasing my hairline product. They
Uh-huh.
have alopecia. They have alopecia. They have traction alopecia. The majority of them. Yeah, they have traction alopecia. But that's where it comes from. Also, um, when babies are little, and of course, we always want to do the cute little hairstyles with the ponytail holders.
Yes.
That you're putting tension on their hairline. So
Yes.
as they grow up, and you keep putting those nice little cute barrettes in their hair, but you're
Photos.
still pulling, and you're putting tension along their hairline. So when they get older, guess what's gonna happen? that
Thinning.
start to thin out. It's going to start to
Mm-hmm.
thin out if you're not careful. So that's the reason why people experience traction alopecia, excessive pulling and tension on the hair. Telogen effluvium. This is a temporary condition where a large number of hair follicles enter the resting phase. So this can lead to sudden or significant hair loss, because it is temporary. In the hair follicles, they go through they go through a growing stage. They go to a resting stage, um, and this is why it's temporary. It doesn't last long, because it is in a resting stage. But if it's left untreated,
Mm-hmm.
it can lead to sudden and significant hair loss because it is at that resting stage. So that means that we need to shampoo, we need to do scalp massage, and we need to do deep conditioners because it is in that. It's like sleeping, so we got to
Yeah.
wake it up to do something. We got to wake it up to do something. So the hair goes through the anagen, telogen. Um, it goes through all the phases for growth, hair growth, and then it goes to the resting stage, also. Um,
Mm-hmm.
um, there's another there's another term I wanted to touch on. And on my Speak Up Alopecia page, it's Alopecia Awareness Month. So I have all the technical terms on there if anybody wants to refer back, and I'll give my social media handles at the end.
Yes.
But I have everything in detail on my pages for the month of September, being this is alopecia awareness. But
Mm-hmm.
there's another alopecia called anagen effluvium, which remember we talked about telogen, but now we're going to talk about anagen, and then there's a catagen stage as well. But the anagen, that remember, just keep in mind the telogen phase is when the hair is resting. So the anagen stage is where the hair actually should be growing. Now, people that experience this during any kind of cancer treatments, and this is why I want to talk about it because this is for people who usually go through cancer and get the chemotherapy. This is what starts to happen with them. They start to lose hair during the cancer treatments, and again, this also is temporary. Also, um, and this occurs when the hair follicles are disrupted during the active phase. So anagen is the active phase, so it starts to grow. So this can lead to premature or any kind of cessation of hair growth. Um, so this is where this comes into play because remember, when people go through chemotherapy, they start to
Mm-hmm.
lose hair. Most
Yes.
people, and then the hair starts to, like I said, some people are lucky, are blessed, some aren't, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
The hair it'll go through that resting stage, but then again, it takes something to wake it up. So that's where you go in. We get the scalp massaging, the shampooing, the deep conditionings, um, and some other options, depending on the situation. Um, and yeah, and then postpartum alopecia. Postpartum
Oh,
is temporary, of course. Um,
yes.
Now, this is a common condition that causes hair loss after childbirth.
Yes.
Now, in my years of doing being behind the chair, I've had several women that were expecting. However, I applaud them because they came in, they got their shampoo, they got their deep conditions done, and they take their prenatals. I always say, take your prenatals, drink a lot of water. Drink lots of water.
Mm-hmm.
So they came in and they took care of their hair while they were pregnant. Somebody who knows they wanna have a baby, I always suggest and recommend that they come in and get the deep conditioners done, get the scalp treatments, um, and keep up with your hair regimen. So that way, by the time you do start expecting, your hair is already strengthened, and then you start taking
Mm-hmm.
needles. So then your hair is getting stronger. Those hair follicles
Yeah.
you're supposed to do. And they're not being confused, going to the left or the right, saying, "Oh my God, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? Something's going on with the lady's body." Um, so, um, so this usually happens after childbirth. But after someone has baby, they should go to the salon and get their shampoos and their deep conditions done. They say statistics say that women shouldn't get chemicals done. I'm not going to say it's a wrong or right answer, but I've done it, and my guests that got chemicals while they were pregnant and before they were fine. But it's
Mm-hmm.
just about being consistent to take care of the hair to keep the hair strengthened. To keep that hair structure strong. Again, postpartum alopecia is temporary. It's harmless. It's harmless. So it occurs during the hormonal changes after giving birth. So during pregnancy, we all know the estrogen levels start to increase, which does promote hair growth. But after giving birth, the estrogen levels start to drop. So this is when the hair starts to shed. So that's why I say it's important to keep up with your hair regimen, get your deep conditions done, um, purchase the shampoo and conditioner that your stylist uses, so that when you're home and you can't get out, or however, if you have to shampoo your hair, at least you'll have the shampoo and conditioner that your stylist use, to keep your hair in a healthy state. But it does lead to a shedding phase. It does go through a shedding phase. And again, total alopecia totalis alopecia. We talked about that. It's also known as complete baldness. It is a condition characterized by the complete loss of hair on the scalp. Um, Now, the cause of this is unknown, but it is believed to be known for having, like, somebody has an autoimmune disorder. So the body's immune system attacks the hair follicles, like I talked about earlier. Other potential factors that may contribute also is genetics, hormonal imbalances, stress, infections, and any kind of medications.
Oh,
Is what
wow.
this.
Wow.
And I've seen this a lot in the being in the industry. I've seen this particular one, form of alopecia. It is complete hair loss on the scalp again. And other symptoms may include smooth or bald, no hair on the scalp,
Yep.
none on the eyelashes and eyebrows.
Mm.
They may have it in other areas, chest, legs. Dermatologists, they diagnosed it. They try to diagnose it, but it's based on a physical. When they diagnose it, based on a physical examination in their medical history. So they check blood work, um, check for any kind of autoimmune disease disorders, scalp biopsy to examine the hair follicles, any kind of nutritional deficiencies that's going on. Make sure you get enough iron, vitamin B12,
Yes. Yes.
which are all essential for hair
Yeah.
health. I always say what you eat comes out in your hair. And scalp,
Yes.
unfortunately. What we eat and drink comes out in the hair and scalp.
And I believe too, if I'm not mistaken, thyroid disorder. I'm not sure if that ties to okay, so okay, I'm going ahead. Okay. Um, okay. You were talking about shedding a while ago. How do you differentiate between normal hair shedding and actual hair loss that could indicate a condition like alopecia? And I'm going to add on to that after you're done your comment.
So normal. So we lose 50 to 80 hairs a day.
How many hairs?
50 to 80. So that's normal.
Wait. Can you say that one more time?
We lose 50 to 80 hairs a day, and that's
Like the hair
normal.
strands?
Like, say for instance, when you comb your hair, you see hair in your comb. So it's supposed to be 50 to 80 hairs a day that we lose. That's normal. No, now anything outside of that is not normal. So then this is when so say for instance somebody's bedridden and they can't get to anybody to do their hair, and they've been bedridden for, let's say, 5 months or so, and then they come into the salon and the hair is matted. Now at this point, you go and you try to comb, the hair is already matted. So when you try to comb, that hair is going to eventually start to disperse from the scalp, of course, and then that's when it turns into the hair loss is not normal. To give you an example,
because it's been matted, it has not been combed through or brushed through.
I'm just giving you an example.
That makes sense.
Because then that turns into hair loss. The more you comb, the more you pull, the more you tug, it's going to do something to those hair follicles, and it's going to cause some kind of damage. But yeah, normal setting is we lose 50 to 80 hairs a day. Actually.
So that makes me feel good.
I remember I had a guest bring a bag. She had a baggie and had her hair in the baggie. And said, look, I'm losing my hair. So I put her and drape her up, and I turn her to the mirror, and I'm doing my hair analysis, and I run my fingers through her hair, and I say, "Look, there's nothing. It's normal. It's normal." And now, if you was to bring that baggie in, and then I put my hands through your hair, and then I see a lot of hair on my hand, then I'll say that's abnormal. But that's normal. There's no shedding. There's nothing going on. And she was like, "Oh, okay." It was so funny. She got a whole baggie. I was like, "Oh no." So, but yeah, but yeah, that's how I differentiate. I mean, I do scalp and hair analysis too to be able to differentiate the two if it's normal
But
abnormal.
but see, I would say she was using like precautionary measures. She's smart by putting in
No,
that
yeah,
bag. That was
no.
smart. That was real smart. That's something I would do. That's what I would do. Gather on the floor, the sink.
And then I'm saying to myself, I'm saying to myself, like I also specialize in healthy hair care, and I'm like, you come to me every 2 weeks, and all of a sudden you do a bag with hair. So no, it's normal.
That's
But
cute.
yeah, I think it was. I can't remember. Maybe it was the style she had, and then she combed her hair. I'm not sure. I can't remember offhand.
Yeah.
But it was just. But when she saw that it was nothing, she was so happy. I said, "See, there's nothing." I kept showing her. See, there's nothing. So yeah, they're so funny.
Yeah. So I want to mention, um, over a decade ago, I had experienced some hair loss too, and it started off like the size of a dime. It was real small, or lesser than that, and it was like in the front of my hair by my hairline, but not too much to the hairline. So what I did, I went to the dermatologist for treatment, and then I was diagnosed with seborrheic dermatitis, which is an itchy scalp condition, which contributed to that hair loss. Because when you keep on scratching one area, you're going to get hair loss. So I was getting that. The dermatologist prescribed me a medicated shampoo, which worked wonders, and like a steroid spray for my scalp. It was awesome. And I think there was another cream she prescribed me also for me to use in between. And that worked. That cured it. That worked. And I had hair growth back. So then recently, maybe about a year or two ago, when I was stressed out of my previous job, and I started to lose hair in the center of my scalp. And I think that was contributed to, like I said, for my job having hair loss, and using drawstring ponytails. That might have had some factors to do with it too, because the combs, the front and back, scratch your scalp, and it kind of does traction, like Angela mentioned. So Angela had provided me with her natural hair care line, the root juice. We call it the root juice, a cute little name, the root juice. So I was able to use that, and then I had hair regrowth. I'm not lying on this, y'all. It worked wonders. It smells good. It works. It's so easy and convenient to use. I put the droplets on my scalp, massaged it in. The hair came right back. So that's my go-to source. That's my saving grace. I use it all the time. I use it on my hairline because like if I have braids or protective styles, I might get thinning around the hairline. That's very common because it's being pulled. But I even used it for that, and it's been a saving grace. So that product is amazing. Check it out, y'all. We'll get to the end of that, but I do want to mention that. I did want to mention that. So um, I'm going to go on to the next question. Hair loss can have a profound emotional impact, especially for those who experience it suddenly. How do you support patients dealing with the emotional toll of alopecia? You mentioned some of that earlier.
Um, so I do private consultation, and
Mm-hmm.
now I started doing virtual or Zoom also.
Good.
If the person doesn't live local, I've also started doing Zoom and virtual.
That's
But
nice.
again, private consultation, documentation to see progress after receiving any kind of deep conditioning services and hair products that were recommended. Now, this is talking about in the salon atmosphere, of course, in the trichology lab. Um, so, documentation is very important to make sure that whatever recommendations you receive, that they're working and they're doing what they're supposed to do, so that time doesn't go on. Because I always say that I'm not going to continue to take my guest money. I'd rather, like, every 2 to 3 months we'll go back and we'll reevaluate. If nothing's working, then I'm gonna refer you to your physician to get a referral to your dermatologist. If
I
I don't,
respect that.
if I don't see
Yeah.
anything, because that's not what they come to me for. So so yeah, that's usually how it works. Um, far as the emotional and physiological impact that may have,
It may
and the
have.
toll that it takes on them. Again, private consultation being private and not in
Yes,
the open, that's a plus, because nobody wants to. People can be cruel, and they can be cruel. So
of
not
course.
knowing, because they're not educated on it. So of course they don't. They'll think that it's something wrong because they're not.
Exactly.
So it's not their fault. I'm just saying, like, where people can, make gestures and things like
Mm-hmm.
that. It's not nice.
Make memes, video. Yeah, we the whole 9 yards. Ignorance. Um, I'm going to share something too with this one. And I believe Seven, yep, Seven had wrote in for this one since he can't be here. But I'm going to ask you first. Have you noticed any difference in how men and women react to hair loss, both emotionally and psychologically? I can't wait to talk about this one. This is good.
Again, I see it a lot in my vendor events when they come over to me, and I do at my vendor events. I also do a consultation to make sure that they purchase the correct product. Um, but when they come over to me and they think I always get men that come by and stop by and point to their scalp and say, "Can you do something for this to help it grow?" And then I lead them to the product that's best for them. Um, but they're so funny.
Mhm.
But I see it a lot at the vendor events, as well as in the salon setting, but more out in the vendor events, because again, people come over to my booth, and they see my product line. What catches their attention is they see the word follicles, because my product line is Jewels, hair roots, and follicles. So when they see
Yes.
the word follicles, they're like, "Oh, okay." Or they see that I'm going to be there after the promoters post my business, and then they come over to me, and then that's when we get into the discussion. And they always feel like there's no hope, and I see the tears, and and the little, the emotions, and they just, yeah, they just feel like there's no hope, and they always say nothing works, and nothing works. And then what does work, if they go to a hair loss specialist or something, they until they see if the process, if they go through the process and make sure that it's explained correctly. That's the only downfall. They have to actually go into an establishment of a certified hair loss specialist or stylist, that specializes in it, and realize that nothing works until the process is explained. And then they go through the process of this can work, the recommendations, and then come in and reevaluate. But they always say that they just feel like nothing works. That's all I hear. Nothing works. I went and got the injections. I took pills. I went to the dermatologist. They always say nothing works, nothing works. And that's the sad part. That's the sad part. That's the sad part. I mean, that's where I come
Mhm.
in.
I was going to ask, do you think equally both men and women have the same emotional like feelings behind the hair loss, or is it more so the woman compared to the men? I would think it would be the woman. That that's my bias.
Mm, mm, I think they both do in their own little way.
Mhm.
They both remember. I think women handle it a little bit more better, because I think that women, we can cover it up. We can wear
Mhm.
hair wraps. We can do hair installations. So
That's true.
we can cover it up. Whereas men, they either have to shave their hair,
Yes, that's
which my
true.
husband and I were just talking about that recently. They have to shave their heads when they start experiencing thinning or any kind of hair loss. They have to shave their head. And now they have out what they call the man units now, which is really nice. That even though they experienced it, they could still there's still other options to still look to make them, because they want to still look young and they still want to feel good about themselves. Um,
Yeah.
as soon as they start receding, they're like, "Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god!" I've had so many mothers come to me about their sons.
Oh,
Hair loss. Yep, hair loss. Because they start young. They start young, but sometimes it's genetics, stress. Remember the kids go through stress in school.
yep. I went through it. Yep.
We all think that we're not supposed to be stressing while we're young, but yeah, they deal with it
Of
too.
course.
They deal with it in schoolwork. making good
Every,
grades. But I have a
right.
lot, yeah, I have a lot of mothers who also approach me about the products and let me know that either their husband or their son experience it. Um, but then statistics show that 30 million women experience it, and out of those 30 million, 40% may experience it. Out of the 30,
Mm,
40% may experience it, and then 50 million men by the age of 35, 85% of them might experience it,
experience.
which is
That's
crazy.
young. That's
Yeah.
young.
Mm-hmm.
I know SeVen, he's not here with us today, but he was able to write something because SeVen does have he's bald. SeVen is bald. We call it a baldy. That's our little slang, a baldy. So SeVen is a baldy. SeVen wanted to share this that ties in with the question. He said, I noticed my hairline starting to fade around the age of 23 through 24. I wasn't too happy about it. I was self conscious. I tried a couple of different black hair product sprays for lineups for my hairline and thinning areas on my scalp, but they were messy and cost too much. I also tried hair follicle powders, and that was difficult to keep up. So around 25, I decided to shave my head. I felt like the bald head took my youthful look, but I settled with it. I also tried the men's hair unit, which you mentioned a while ago, Angela. Those were nice, but very costly, and the glue made my scalp itch. I now wear hats and turbans. I don't show my baldy much unless I have to, laugh out loud. I'm still self conscious about it at my age, but I do get compliments on my baldy. So it is what it is. And my father also, he relates to what SeVen had mentioned because he experienced hair loss around that same time too. So he mentioned to me he had a whole like a head full of hair, afro, whatever, thick hair. He felt like he was the man, the shit, whatever you want to call it. Excuse my language. He felt good about himself. But then he said when he started to get the hair loss and thinning and all that stuff, he felt ugly. And then he also mentioned it was traumatizing to him. So I said, "Oh wow." But he also made a good comment. So he said this. He mentioned to me that um as he, aged and gotten older, he started to see other men, rock their bald heads. So then that meant like society accepted it more and it's expected because usually when you get older, you tend to have hair loss. So that's what made him, I guess, embrace it and feel a little bit more confident as
Mm-hmm.
he got as he has gotten older with that. So I thought that was pretty interesting to mention and from, different perspectives.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I wanted to share. The emotional, psychological. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, that was really good.
That's what he said. Yeah, they go through it too. Men. I just think that women just deal with it a little bit. Like I said, they just because we know how to we know what we can
Mhm.
still look fashionable and still look and feel good, so that it doesn't have too much of an impact. But
But
it does in a sense.
it does. And I was gonna say too, even with that being said, like I always thought that men that were bald headed were confident. I never knew that they were going through those issues of insecurity and low confidence. I thought, they were brave too to rock a bald head. And honestly, I do find them attractive. My category of men, a man with a bald head, no matter what race, and a beard, I think they look good. I think they're attractive. But it's just interesting to know behind that. So, yeah, I wanted to add that part in too. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, what are some of the most exciting advancements in alopecia treatments right now? Are there any new therapies or clinical trials on the horizon? I think I might know one.
Well, there are different options. Again, like I said, the wig enhancements, the medical wigs, the hair insulation,
Mhm.
non-surgical hair replacement, opposed to getting injections done. Um, those are some alopecia treatments, just to name a few. Um, yeah, just to name a few.
And I know too, I'm going to chime in on there. I know there's steroid injections from the dermatologists, like
Mm-hmm.
corticosteroids, to promote regrowth in the hair follicles. I know they
Mm-hmm.
have that too.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So
Yes.
they have that. Yep. So that's
Mm-hmm.
always an option. I remember that.
but a licensed person have to of course do that. Somebody who's licensed, of course,
Absolutely.
that specializes in that. So that means that me as a here, I can't do it. I don't have the licenses to do it. So they have to go to someone who really specializes and did their years of training to do it.
To do it.
It's not like something you could just stick a needle and then
Is
no, it's intense. It's intense.
listen to that audience, sofa talkers or audience, listen to that. It's true. Um, can you talk about the role of lifestyle and diet in managing or preventing hair loss? Are there certain habits or nutrients that can help strengthen hair?
Mhm. So I just recently posted a topic about this on social media in regards to this. So it is important for us to watch our eating habits. Now, do we do that? Some of us, yeah. Some of us, no.
No. I'm one
However,
of them.
uh, I am going to say my elderly clients. One thing that I admire about them, their hair is thick, full, long, healthy, and nails, skin is beautiful, and that comes from they change their eating habits. They change over
Oh,
the years. They change their. I guess not saying that they didn't have good eating habits, but as they got older, you can tell that they took really, really, really good care of themselves, and that means they followed the directions of the doctor, of course.
yeah, and it's like you have no choice
Yeah,
also too. Yeah.
I mean, different generations. You see different different generations. So of course,
Mhm.
took care of themselves over the years. But I always say we are what we eat. It comes out in our hair and scalp.
Good.
Our body, it
Good.
comes out. Yeah, unfortunately, it comes out. We are what we eat. So we should watch our eating habits. Um, what we eat and what we drink affects the hair and the scalp. I always say drink a lot of water. Water helps. Water is it's an essential.
Thank
Um,
you.
not supposed to drink too much of it, but drink enough of it. But because we already have water in our system.
Body.
But
Mhm.
we should be drinking enough of it because it does show in the hair and in the scalp, and it does. It keeps the hair and the scalp healthy, just like the skin. Just like
Mhm.
the skin supple, moist. Same thing with the hair and scalp. It keeps it supple.
Mhm.
It keeps it moist. It shouldn't be dry, of course. Um, but just watching the habits. Um, the essential nutrients such as iron, vitamin D, uh,
Yes.
is also good to incorporate in our daily intake. Adequate intake of nutrients is also essential for supporting healthy hair growth and also maintain follicle function. Remember, the follicle plays a big part in the hair structure.
Mhm.
So we want to always make sure that we're coddling, we're babying baby in our bodies to take care of our hair follicle. And
Yes.
unfortunately, now the causes involved with the role of these nutrients is a metabolic process, which includes any kind of DNA synthesis, cell division, and protein synthesis, which are also critical for the hair follicle function and growth. But overall, that what we eat in our essentials, our vitamin essentials. Doctors give us supplements for
Yes.
reasons. Those are important. They keep the hair strong. They keep the hair follicle strong. But again, we are what we eat, what we take in. I
Yep.
always follow the like when we have kids, we have them follow the food group. That's what we should be doing also. But do we do it now?
No.
Um,
We don't.
but yeah, but yeah, lifestyle and diet just changing. Alcohol plays a big difference too.
Ooh, the drinkers out there.
Alcohol plays a big difference. I'm not saying not to drink, but just watch. It plays a big difference too in our overall health as well as
Ah,
the
yeah, that's true.
yeah as well as the hair. But yeah,
That's true. And I think also zinc is a good factor for hair, if I'm not mistaken. I think I was told that before. Zinc.
yeah,
Yep.
zinc.
Zinc. Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. Um, there are many myths around hair loss. What are some of the most common misconceptions you've encountered in your practice?
Um,
If you have.
when the client will say, "Look, I have no hair. I have no hair,"
Okay.
and then and then I'll turn to the well, of course we're at the mirror, and I'll show them and say, "Look, you still have a little bit of fuzz." So that means
Hmm.
that there's room for growth. Um, the hair follicle still active. It's when the hair when it's when there's no hair is when the
Yeah.
follicle not there's nothing there. So that's it becomes again alopecia totalis. Um, but however, the hair follicles they do go dormant, but then it takes something to wake them up. It's like the hair follicles are like I always use the example of a baby who's born who doesn't have that much hair and they have a
Mm-hmm.
fuzz. That's what it looks like when somebody says, "Oh gosh, I don't have any hair," but then there's a little bit of fuzz there. There's still a little bit of fuzz there, so that tells me that they're still active.
Yes.
But just
Yes.
something to wake them up. So you got to go in and I always do the push pull effect where you're shampooing the push pull effect to get up
Uh-huh.
release any kind of dirt and oils that are blocking that hair follicle. They that are blocking the hair follicles. They have to be the dirt oils have to be released some kind of way. Otherwise, they're going to stay blocked and they're not going to grow and they're going to stay dormant. Um,
Yes.
so again, it just takes something to wake them. Hair growth products, another one. Like I mentioned earlier, stimulation, scalp massaging.
Mm-hmm.
Those are things that wakes them up so that they don't stay dormant. And sometimes um, some people they don't know what to do, so they just continue to say, okay, well, it's not any hope, so I'm just going to let them continue to go
Yeah.
stay like this, and then what happens is it then turns into alopecia totalis.
Dallas.
Then
Oh.
it turns into excessive thinning. Um, yeah, that's what happens. Yeah, unfortunately.
That's that's why I'm like glad we're speaking about this to educate people. It's never too late. If you're
Nope.
in that case where it can be prevented,
Yeah,
it's never too late, everybody. If you're going through this right now.
never too late.
Yep, never too late. Um, People often hear about miracle cures for hair loss. What are some red flags to look out for when considering hair loss treatments? And I'm going to give you an example. I hate to put their name on blast, but you all are very familiar with this. Back in the days, those commercials and infomercials, they made like probably millions of dollars. It was Rogaine was advertised for that, the miracle
Yeah.
cure. Sorry, Rogaine, but it's true.
hmm Yeah,
You know
they
that.
some of these places have to be careful. Misleading treatment claims, guaranteed results, too good to be true promises, aggressive marketing
Hmm.
that may not have scientifically backed treatments.
Hmm.
Yeah, you just have to be careful.
Be careful.
hmm Yeah, you just have to be
Yep.
careful. Yeah, just have to be
Very
careful.
careful. Um, how big a role does genetics play in alopecia? And can anyone develop alopecia, or are there higher risk groups? That's a good question. Um, I always thought it could be hereditary from your parents or your grandparents,
hmm
like along your genetic line.
Yes. Yep. So yeah, that's my first what I was gonna say.
Oh,
Androgenetic alopecia, which is polygenic. This is caused by multiple genes. This is a combination of parental genetic variants. So this increases the likelihood of developing the condition. So alopecia areata is also linked to these genes involved in the immune response, which
mhm.
is especially those within human leukoid antigen complex. So these genes create a predisposition. Also,
Yes,
any kind of environmental factors, including stress,
yes,
nutrition, autoimmune
yes.
diseases, disorders, genetics processes. They also play a crucial role in triggering or influencing hair loss. Also,
Okay. Thank
yeah.
you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Thank you.
androgenetic. Yeah.
Beyond medical treatments, how important is it for someone with alopecia to find a community of people who understand their experience, like support groups or?
Yeah. So, um, I recommend contacting a certified hair loss practitioner.
Hmm.
Join the alopecia support group. Actually, I have an alopecia support group on Facebook called Speak Alopecia. And I post topics on there, and there's room for discussion. Or if you wanna, you can be anonymous and you can ask a question on there, and I'll answer it. I'll
That's
respond to it.
awesome.
So you don't have to put yourself out there. It can be anonymous, and you just post a question that you may have, and I'll answer. I'll respond back. But any kind of alopecia support groups, um, the salon atmosphere is also nice because other women in there are also experiencing it, and they talk about it, and they talk about the results that they see and what they've done in the past. So that's another thing too. The salon, depending on where you go, that's another thing. Yeah.
Do you have any stories or feedback from patients who found strength or healing through support groups, online communities like you have with Facebook, or working with specialists?
So I'm gonna use myself as my guests that come to me as a specialist in the salon atmosphere. I love to hear their results and the reviews I receive. So that I get a lot of feedback that way, and also for my product line. That's another thing.
That's good.
So I just get feedback from the consumers and my guests in the salon. That's what helps, and also Facebook posts. They see the Facebook, and the Facebook posts I'm hoping that they inspire somebody because this is real. So that's why I keep posting. Just
keep on doing it,
so people can see that. That I actually want to build a community and do little groups. Eventually, I tried to reach out and do something like that, but didn't have any luck. But I do want to do. I want to do little groups where and we could talk about alopecia, where they don't have to feel embarrassed because everybody's experiencing it.
Would that? I'm sorry. Would that be like a virtual like meetup, like you all like we'll say Zoom or something like that, like where everybody comes together privately? And you all meet up and speak about that virtually?
Yeah, I thought about that. And also, I would like to do it in a personable setting where everybody comes together and we show up and talk. People meet each other. Yeah, they meet each other. And that's what I was hoping to do something like that.
Okay, so in person or virtual options, either one will work. That's good. That's a really good idea. That's a really good idea. I like it. Where do you see the future of alopecia treatment going in the next 5 to 10 years? Are there any emerging technologies or breakthroughs that we should be excited about?
So based on recent breakthroughs in statistics and ongoing research, the future of alopecia treatment over the next 5 to 10 years will be defined by more targeted and effective therapies. For example, for autoimmune forms of hair loss, such as alopecia areata, any kind of regenerative medicine, any kind of gene-based approaches for any kind of conditions like androgenetic alopecia, to give you an example. So hopefully this will happen. This is something that's been around for years, but just nobody's never really talked about it until you start seeing it. But it's been around. It's been around for years. I've seen it in family members.
I had it.
Years, so, and I experienced it myself. So it's been around. It's been around. So
but I like how it's becoming more like of an open topic to speak about now. It's not so hidden and silent. You know what I'm saying?
And I'm starting to see more women embracing their alopecia totalis.
Yes, shout out to y'all.
So there's a group of women on Facebook, and they have a group of women who actually just embraces their look on Facebook. And I chimed in and I told them, being a hair loss specialist, I'm so happy to see this.
That's right.
So happy to see this. Like I became a little bit. It's like beautiful.
Oh, I love it. I love to hear
it. But yeah, it's been around for years.
Yeah, and it will never go nowhere. Unfortunately, yeah, it will never go nowhere. But we have treatments, obviously, that will help try to combat this or work our way around it. For many hair loss. For many, hair loss isn't just an aesthetic concern. It's often linked to deeper health issues. You already mentioned some of this. Can you explain how alopecia can be a symptom of other underlying conditions like autoimmune disorders? You mentioned that earlier. So kind of like.
Yes. So um,
Like we
what
mentioned
happens?
thyroid. Oh, I'm
Mhm.
sorry.
No, you're fine. This is a good one. That's why I'm like puzzled about it. But this is a good a good question. Um, so what happens is the autoimmune disorders, they start to again attack its own tissues. So
Mm-hmm.
then it becomes alopecia areata, which is a common example when the immune system is targeted by the hair follicles. So it leads to hair loss and any other associated conditions. So somebody with alopecia areata, they often have other autoimmune conditions like thyroid disease is one,
Yes, you mentioned that.
and also diabetes. Type 1 diabetes is another one.
Wow, diabetes.
Lupus is
Whoa.
another.
Lupus,
Mhm.
yes.
Yeah, lupus
Yes.
is another one. I just put a post up on Facebook in regards to thyroid disease, thyroid, and how hair loss affects the thyroid. So anytime someone says goes to the doctor or dermatologist says I'm losing hair, first thing they
Yes.
got to do is check the thyroid.
Yes.
Check the thyroid to make sure that everything's good with the thyroid, because
Mm-hmm.
that's one cause of hair loss.
And
Medication.
also,
I'm sorry. Any kind of
I'm sorry.
medication. Medications is another one. So always that's one question that I ask my guests when they come in, and I do my consultation is if there are any kind of medications, if they're pregnant,
Mm-hmm.
anything of that nature that's going to trigger hair loss.
Also, too, from personal experience, vitamin D, I think, might contribute, if I'm right, Angela, and also iron. Iron is a big one. Low iron, I suffer from that. That was some hair
Yeah,
loss. I lost shedding and all that. So I'm glad we're highlighting that too.
yeah, iron, low
Yep.
iron. Yeah, anything that attacks our immune system, it affects our hair.
Thank you.
Anything that
Thank you.
attacks our immune system, it affects our hair. Yeah, anything that attacks it. Yeah. So I have to say medication. If medication is supposed to make us feel better,
Right?
it does make it play a big part in hair loss. And some of the medications, when you read the actual the fine print,
Mm-hmm.
that comes with your prescriptions, it'll state in there what the side effects. Hair loss could be one of. It's always good to read so you can say okay.
Yes.
But if you don't read it and then you start experiencing, it, and say I don't know where it's coming from. At least if you read it, you can say oh, it's the medication.
Exactly.
Medications, like high blood pressure medicine, certain medications cause hair loss. Certain medications. That's why they say drink water with the medications too, so you can flush.
Mm-hmm. Flush it.
So you
Yep.
can
Let it go through the body.
Mhm.
Let it go. Um, how do you approach treating patients with chronic forms of hair loss, especially when it's related to an autoimmune disease? This is a little different for like people with lupus. Have you ever experienced that first before we go on? Like with anybody with lupus or cancer? Is this question for you, or should we
I
skip
have
it?
I serviced one lady with cancer.
Oh, okay.
That's what I was speaking about. Her hair came in thicker, grew longer. But I did service her for a while up until unfortunately she passed away.
Rest
Um,
in
but
peace.
um, but
Hmm.
yeah, I did work with her, and I believe she was my only over the years. I think she was the only one, honestly. Over the years, yeah, she was the only one. Um, yeah, she was the only one over the years.
Was there like any special treatments that you used for her?
No, she just got deep conditioners, and we did a style that didn't require any kind of heat. She just went in her dryer. She didn't require any
Okay.
like before to be able to get like curling iron and things, like that. But it didn't. She could. I didn't give any styles that require heat. And I'm out. Yeah, no heat. Yeah.
But she had like like some mild form of hair loss, right?
hmm
It
Yeah,
wasn't
but then,
totalis.
after she got better, her hair started to grow back in and fuller and thicker.
Ah.
Yeah, I watched her go through the process. Yeah, I watched her go through the
Huh.
process. Yeah,
Wow,
pigment.
this is
The
very
only difference is her pigment started to change to gray, all gray. Because gray doesn't have any pigment, so it started to turn. I just started turning to gray. So I turn
Turning
it.
to gray.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's usually the only one. Um. So I think I got ahead of myself somewhere.
Um, so what advice would you give someone just beginning to notice signs of alopecia? How can they best navigate this journey, both emotionally and physically? We spoke about that earlier, a little bit about that.
Mm-hmm. Um. So this is what I talked about this earlier. Yeah, when I see a small spot, make an appointment
Yep,
to avoid the thinning area from becoming larger.
that can be
Because if it's
saved.
left untreated, it's going to continue to grow. Um, Set up a private consultation, get documentation, treatment, and hair regimen um, to see what the progress is. That's what I recommend.
And also, too, I would add on to, I'm not like Angela, but I would say know your body. Just know your body because
Mm.
you know it better than anybody else does. So just know your body. Yep, I add that on. I'm not like Angela, but I'll add that on. um, what are some of the most important things people should consider when choosing a treatment plan for their hair loss? You mentioned some of this too, also.
um, all natural ingredient product line. Now we're in a vegan world.
Yes.
Nice. So always choose an all natural ingredient product line. Make sure that your hair loss goes realistic. So don't say, "Oh, I have this hair loss going on, so it's going to grow back in a month." That's why when I sell my
Hmm.
product to my consumers, I let them know that it depends on the situation. Everybody's different.
Yes.
Uh, so don't. So I never say, "Oh, you got," like they some of my consumers see results less than a month. However, I say depending on the situation, um,
Hmm.
depending on the issue. Some see results quicker than others. So I would say I'm saying that to say set a realistic goal, monitor and monitor your progress and
Yes.
document. And
Yes.
that's what your certified specialist should be doing. Evidently.
I agree. Have you noticed any shifts in how society views alopecia, especially with the rise of influencers or public figures who openly embrace hair loss? Jada Pinkett's one.
Hmm. I feel people don't take alopecia seriously, not knowing alopecia is a medical condition. Has
Ah,
has autoimmune disorders such as alopecia areata, where the body's immune system attacks the hair follicles, like I talked about earlier. So people don't take it seriously. It's out there. It's real. It's been going on for years. It's just unfortunate that it's now coming to surface. I noticed it when the last few years doing my product line, how people want to get more educated on it and that's where I come in at. I want to educate them on it, and I'm glad that Sofa Talk asked me to do this podcast because people need to know that
yes.
medical, but it doesn't define who you are. That's the thing. It doesn't define
Yes. Like
who
the
you are.
title, our title says. Yep.
Who you are it does not. Don't let it. Um, there's options. There's so many options out here. Unbelievable. It's amazing how the times have changed
Hmm.
through the years. But I would say don't let it define you. There's hope. There's
Hmm.
so many options out here right now. There's so many recommendations. Whereas years ago, I know growing up, there probably was one option, and that was just a wig. Now,
Yes. That's
you know,
hmm.
so now there's so many
True.
options out there where you can look beautiful and feel beautiful.
Hmm.
So,
Hmm.
so many, so many, so many, so many. Yeah, to answer your question. Um, also, um, also hormonal imbalances. We talked about that earlier. Medication,
Oh,
genetics.
yes.
Just keep in mind, alopecia is not always a permanent condition, and treatments are available to help the hair, to help restore the hair, or slow down the hair loss. So that's why it's important to consult with someone to proper diagnose and get
Yes.
treatment options. So you can't go on YouTube and say, "Okay, they said do this," or
Hmm.
chat GPT. No, go to a specialist. Go to a
Yep.
specialist. Go to a specialist.
Listen. Listen what she's saying.
Go to a specialist.
What role, well, I can't wait to talk about this too. I'm going to chime in too. What role do wigs, extensions, or other non medical solutions play in helping individuals regain confidence while managing alopecia?
Being able to pick the style and the hair that they like,
Uh-huh.
with their beauty. That's one thing that I do like that plays a role in that. Um, that helps to regain, because remember, they're picking out what they like, and they're just coming in to a professional to get it installed. So this is the hair they pick,
Mhm.
and then of course they do the consult before they go purchase the hair, because sometimes you have to say no. How about if you get this, because you want it to look pretty, you want it to look nice.
Yes.
Men the same thing. They're going to get a unit that's going to
Yes, that too.
close to what their hair texture was,
Mhm.
so that nobody can really tell. They will be able to tell, but at least it'll be something like what they had. Their texture. So that's the fun part about that, is for them to be able to pick what they like, and have it styled to accentuate, to still make them feel good and regain confidence. That's the main thing. While maintaining alopecia, nobody won't even know. Nobody won't ever.
Yeah, exactly. And I was gonna add that this is a little joke. So the wigs that are out today, y'all, the wigs that are out today are not like how they were back in the days, back in mama's days, grandma's days, great grandma's days, your aunties,
Look
your great
wiggy.
aunts. These wigs are looking stylish. They look natural now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You can't even tell. So that's a good thing. I'm gonna say. I'm gonna add on to that. The wigs are not the same how they
Mhm.
were back in the day. They are cute. They are cute. But they could also lead to hair loss. FYI, they could also lead to hair loss.
Not
And just
careful.
like how, I'm sorry.
If not,
Um, like Angela had mentioned with lace front wigs, those being used. So my take on that is they're so beautiful and they do look realistic. But my only fear with that or concern with that is when they're being used constantly when you really don't have to really wear those. I think after some time you would get hair loss, you would get a receding hairline as a result of using that. And if they're not properly applied on also, that could be contribution to the hair loss as well. So I think that's very important. And I kind of feel like those kind of wigs, lace front wigs, should be used for people with like lupus or with the cancer patients. That's just my take for that with the lace front wigs. They're beautiful, but constant use of it, if you don't need to, nah. I say no.
yeah. Mm-hmm. Good.
um, and oh, the last question here, y'all. Um, how important is self acceptance in healing? I'm sorry, I'm going to reread that again. How important is self acceptance in the healing process for those with alopecia? And how can individuals embrace their new look confidently?
Mm-hmm. So, of course, um, alopecia support groups, watching what you eat,
Hmm.
contact a certified specialist,
Hmm.
also maintaining the wig unit of their choice,
Hmm.
keep of it, to feel and still look good. Um, yeah, those are all like, but of course, the healing process is being able to talk about it. We talk things out, we
Yep,
heal from it. So the important part is to
that's true.
talk about it, and not to go through it alone. And that's why I started that support group, on Facebook, um, under Speak Alopecia, and
Yes.
it's also Alopecia Support Group is what it's called on Facebook.
Nice, nice, nice. Thank you so much for answering those questions and educating all of us, and myself included, on this topic.
Thank you for having me.
No, thank you so much. And you're special. You're the first. So you're special. Um, this is your time now to brag about your hair care products real quick before we end the show. We're about to wrap the show up. Um, let us know about your all natural ingredient hair care products in any of your social media handles too. Shout that out right now. And any email inquiry where people could email you for consultations or anything like that, whether you want to do for free or paid. Go ahead now. This is your time. You have the
So
floor.
my hair loss, hair growth product line is an all natural product line. All my products promote hair growth. They're all natural ingredients. I have three chemists who have listened to me and actually um, infused good ingredients by using the farmers that they use to um, to help with the process of making the can't even talk, sorry, that help that assist with the formulations. So I have shampoos, conditioners, hair maintenance products. I have two hair growth products. I also have hair growth products for men. I have beard oil for men.
Yes.
I have top sellers. My product line is a 5-star company right now, which is nice. You can also purchase on Walmart.com. You
Yes.
can, local delivery. I ship. Um,
Yes.
Also, I have flat irons, curling irons,
Wow, the whole nine.
and yeah, and again, hair maintenance products. I have about 20 products, but you can also
Woo!
go to my um, Facebook page, which is Jules Hair Roots and Follicles, and my email address is Jules, the number 4, the letter U, at mail.com. Again, Jules, JEWELZ, number 4, U, at mail.com. My social media handles are Jules Hair Roots and Follicles LLC.
Okay. Also, too, I'm going to mention too. I think she left something out. This is very important. Her hair care product line is catered to every single person,
Mhm,
every race, every age.
mhm,
It's catered to everybody. So I
mhm.
want to mention that it's just not just for Black or African American people. It's for every
All hair,
um, all
all
hair types,
in texture,
diversity. hmm
in texture.
It's for everybody, not just one group
Yes.
of people. It's for everybody, and it works. Also, too, I'm gonna shout this out too. If you want to make orders for your home, for your own self, I use her products for my hair at home. Any salon people, cosmetologists, any barbers, hairstylists, she can do orders also for you all to send to your salon. You're gonna love the products. Cosmetology schools or barber schools, hit her up. She got bulk or she has. I'm sorry, she has bulk orders. If you
Warehouse
want to
price.
go ahead, and order from her too. So anybody, commercial, things like that. She has bulk orders. Also, I think she left that out, and I wanted to mention that.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
Yep, you're welcome. Yep, I wanted to mention that. And what I'm gonna do, I'm going to put the information in the show description notes. So just look at that also. Because we always do description notes for our episodes. So I will put that in there as well, like her contact information, where to follow her at or where to find her at. Um, so I thank you so much, Angela, again, for just providing us with this information and the knowledge that you have in experience and expertise. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
I look forward to speaking to you all. Any questions, just let me know. I'll be more than happy to answer them.
Absolutely. And I'm going to wrap up here, y'all. So Seven's not here, so I have to talk on his behalf. Thank you to everyone for following us on social media, which is Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Thank you so much. If you don't follow us, thank you for the engagement you provide us on our posts, our memes, our videos. Thank you all so, so much. Thank you. Um, and if you're not following us, if you want to follow us, we like followers, follow us there. We also have, I always tell y'all this every episode, we also have our own website now. You can go to sofatalk, SOFATAWK.com. Thank you for listening to our special episode today, Hair Loss, Not Self-Worth. Are you facing a dilemma or issue and you need advice from Seven and I? Feel free to write to the Dear Sofa Talk letter at sofatalk@gmail.com. That is SOFATAWK@gmail.com. And we can see how we can help you. Our next episode, this is going to be a touchy subject. This is about addiction, y'all. It hits close to home with, I'm sure, all of us. The title will be Faces of Addiction. That will air next month in October on either the 11th, 18th, or 25th in honor of Substance Abuse Awareness Month. Please subscribe, like, follow, share, comment, or leave a review wherever you're listening. We are available on multiple podcast directories. Remember, the talk will have you talking on the sofa. Goodbye. Until next time.